Hi everyone, thank you for joining me on the Dahlia Society. My name's Kristen and I am taking my turn today in the So Frugal 2022 challenge that the gorgeous Ruan from Yorkshire So Girl and Sam from Frugalissima are putting on. There is a whole heap of prizes to win, so if you haven't entered this competition, it's a great time to look into it. It is so tempting. There are a lot of free patterns. I think more and more, like considering last year I looked around and I had a little bit more trouble, this year I seem to have quite a good selection. And I know Sam's channel is all about frugal sewing. If you haven't had any ideas on what to sew, maybe it's a good time to check out her channel and see exactly what she will find. She will hunt them down everywhere. Free patterns are fantastic because we all know that none of us are saving much money by sewing. I say that because when I first got into sewing, I thought I would save heaps of money. In one way I did, because there wasn't anything in my sort of age or size range that was me. I found it very, very hard to find clothing at that stage. And I was into sort of the vintage side of things, which I'm really not that much into anymore. But at that time, it was actually cheaper for me to sew my own. But now that I've discovered a real pure joy for sewing, I tend to sort of focus on quality fabrics and indie patterns. So it's not really saving much money. So if you can save money and be a bit more frugal, it's fantastic. And the whole point of this challenge is to look for a pattern that anyone can find. It has to be a free pattern accessible, so it can't be a free pattern that was just given to you. It has to be a free pattern available to sewists, and worldwide is even better. So if you can jump online and download a free pattern, it's a fantastic way to save yourself some cash. Now, my partner in crime today is Katie from The Wandering Bobbin, and she will be also doing her So Frugal episode. So after you finish watching this, I really encourage you to head on over to Katie's channel at Wandering Bobbin and see what she has planned, because I think everyone's getting into this challenge. There's so many vloggers this year that are really getting involved. So it's fantastic. Before I go any further, I must tell you what I'm wearing because I get a lot of people asking me if I don't mention it. And I've got the Pattern Emporium Timeout tank on in a beautiful organic cotton jersey. And I've got Helen's Closet Winslow culottes. So I will stand up so you can see. Well, everyone knows the Timeout tank. It's a favourite pattern of mine with the cutaway sleeve. And the Helen's Closet culottes. Now they're half elastic culottes, really, really comfortable, and I love wearing the Timeout tank tucked in because it's really warm here. We've had severe flooding in New South Wales and in Queensland just this past couple of days, and the weather is incredibly humid down here for Melbourne. It's quite unusual for it to get that humid. So I really hope that you're all safe. I hope that you are not too affected by those floods, from Aussie viewers here that are watching. And I'm also sending love and best wishes to anyone over in Ukraine at the moment that is going through a terrible time. And I know a lot of people have relatives that are still there, and especially I want to send my love to Alyssa from Sloss and Orchids, who is a Ukrainian that is living in the UK, and she has still got family over there, and her hometown is coming under a lot of fire at the moment, a lot of bombing, and yeah, it's just terribly, terribly sad. So I'm sending my love and best wishes to her. Now I'm here to talk about free frugal patterns, free sewing, and I'm going to talk about things that I have chosen. As promised, it has to be fabric from your stash. So you're not allowed to purchase fabric. Are you, Meg? You're not allowed to go and purchase fabric for this challenge. It has to be what you've got in your stash. And I know, like most of you guys are probably the same, I have got plenty in my stash to choose from. So I've got a bit of a selection. It's not for all frugal, it's not all super duper cheap fabric. There's a couple of spotlight things and a couple of other more expensive fabrics. So I've just kind of chosen fabrics to go with the patterns that I think will match up really nicely. First pattern that I've chosen is one that I've seen advertised. It is on Seamwork Patterns, and Seamwork we all know is a subscription service that has a lot of sewing workshops and tutorials and sewing patterns, and you can pay, I think it's a yearly or monthly membership. This one though is a free pattern. I think if you subscribe to them, their newsletter, you will get a free pattern. I don't actually have a membership at all for Seamwork, but this particular pattern I thought was a really nice one. It's called the Quince jacket, which is like a sort of kimono looking robe style pattern. I love those. They are one of my favorite things to wear. I find them great for layering, for popping on over like a tank top, pair of jeans, or you can really dress it up with maybe a nice linen dress underneath. They're great for all seasons as well. The great pattern because all of you can go ahead and download this. I love the fact that they've done it in a few different fabrics and a few different lengths. You can also add the tie on, you can add the pockets on as well. So the fabric that I've chosen for that is this beautiful linen silk print, which is just stunning. It's from Cloth Edit. I do have a feeling that Gabrielle has sold out of this exact print, but she does have other linen and silk prints that are just equally as beautiful. But this is just the most beautiful fabric, and I can see that, definitely see that in that robe style pattern. The quince, I think, or quincy, pretty sure it's quince, like the fruit, is yeah, definitely going to come up really nice. I'll probably pick up one of the colours in this to wear underneath it, and you maybe make a tank top, and I will definitely wear that, especially coming up into our autumn season when, you know, the days are still quite warm and you get cooler evenings. It's great to have layering pieces. So I'm a huge fan of layering pieces. I do have a lot of dresses, but I find the layering things are things that I tend to reach for again and again. So that is my first choice. My next choice is a dress that was just released this week, and it is a peppermint pattern. And I know that everyone loves peppermint patterns. They are a free sewing pattern service. You can buy their quarterly magazines, which are fantastic. They have lots of eco-friendly ideas, sewing, crafting, and also home decorating, gardening, cooking, all sorts of things. So a great magazine. If you haven't subscribed before, I can highly recommend Peppermint Magazine. You can also subscribe to their newsletter, and you will then be able to receive the new pattern each quarter that comes out. They also ask that if you would be so kind to make maybe a $2 donation towards that service as well, to keep it running. Now, we all love a good sewing pattern and a freebie, but it's nice once in a while to make a little donation. I think it goes via PayPal that way, so I will be doing that, even though it's a free pattern. This quarter, they have actually commissioned a new pattern designer called Kim Sisson. Kim runs Hubbarding Pattern Company, and I had never heard of it before. She's a Kiwi, and I looked on her website, and oh my goodness, her patterns are brilliant. She's got feminine elements on quite modern looking patterns. There's a lot of really great blouses, a lot of frills, a lot of collars, a lot of peplum styles. Yeah, really unique patterns I think you're going to really love. There's quite a few tops, dresses, and a skirt pattern, but I love the look of the new bowen dress she's designed, especially for Peppermint Magazine. It is classed as like a tent dress. It is sitting on the yoke, and the quite wide boat neck is brilliant. You can either do it with button front or just the V-neck front. And I thought this gorgeous rayon from Spotlight, which is the Aboriginal print, they still have some of this in stock, I'm pretty sure. I thought that would really be nice and floaty, and that beautiful big kind of bell sleeve I think will be set off really nicely with this rayon fabric. So need to make this up, because I bought this thinking I would have a summer dress, and even though we're heading on into autumn, I think the colours in this are still really lovely. And it's the sort of pattern, it's got the colours in it, you can quite easily pick up the deep burgundy shades to make it a little bit more seasonally appropriate as you head on into winter. So I think like maybe a cardigan or a coat in that burgundy colour would be beautiful for that. But that is what I'm thinking. That dress looks fantastic. Now, the only thing is with that pattern, it is not released until the 10th of March, but that does still give me a couple of weeks to have it sewn up and ready by the 31st for the challenge. So if you're interested in that dress, hang around till the 10th of March and you subscribe to the newsletter, and you can have it sent out to you too. So a lovely, comfortable, floaty looking dress, definitely on the radar to make with this. Now, another top pattern that's been very popular on the internet for quite some time, I've had the pattern printed out but never got around to making it, and that's the Paddington top. It's got a beautiful puff sleeve with a button through back, and I know a lot of vloggers have already made it and really enjoyed making it and loved wearing it. And I thought this lovely cotton linen from Spotlight would also be beautiful. Look at that gorgeous lilac colour. It's such a pretty looking vintage floral, and I just think that would be beautiful even with a pair of jeans. I can see that set off with maybe some shell like mother of pearl buttons down the back there, or even some self-covered buttons. But I think that puff sleeve would really go nicely with this cotton linen fabric to give it a bit of body. Yes, so that is another thing on the list to make, the Paddington. I just think it's a practical style top pattern for, especially for trans-seasonal times of year. The next pattern has been on my list for a while. I've also had that pattern printed out ready to make, and what inspired me lately to make it is one of my friends whom I worked with many years ago when I worked for Suzanne, which is a fashion company. Her name's Verity. She actually made this herself and it looks so gorgeous on her. I just thought, why haven't I made it yet? It looks so great on her. So I'll pick up so you can see her in it. I think she looks fabulous. Yeah, so it's great to have someone that you haven't seen for many years but you've sort of found again online, and the fact that she's in on the sewing is also brilliant because I get to see what she's making. But the Milton Pinafore is a stunning looking pinny, and I think this beautiful sort of midnight ink navy twill, which was from Draper's Fabrics, I think it'll look lovely. It's a nice staple looking deep navy, lovely drape to it as well. And I think even like with a striped navy and white top underneath would look really lovely. And I've just had a good look around at some reviews on the pattern, and if you are about to embark on making a pattern, you're not quite sure what the fit's like, especially when there's no elastic waist because it is quite fitted, has a button back. You just Google the pattern and you'll see anyone that's done a blog post or a review, and you can kind of see a lot of the time they'll tell you what the fit's like. Sometimes you can see what height they are, what size they are, and what they've made and things to look out for. So I've already learned a couple of things by looking at some blogs. One is that you need to get your strap length right before you sew it up because it's a fully lined bodice, and that can be a little bit impractical for me. I find that sometimes things with straps and pinny style or a square neckline with the straps, I have problems with things falling off my shoulders. So I always have trouble getting things like strap length right. So that's one thing that could be deterring me from making it. But then I think, well, it's a challenge. That way you can make sure that it fits you properly, put a bit of practice in there and get things fitting you just right. I think if I make the Milton, I will definitely be doing some kind of twirl, especially on the straps to the bodice there, just to get the fit right so it's not constantly slipping off the shoulders. But I think it could be a great piece for layering for winter or summer. And I just think I was looking for maybe a lightweight chambray, but I didn't have one, so I'm thinking the navy is the next best thing. It would be really practical for going back with some things. And another idea I had was to even make the Paddington in this gorgeous cotton sateen fabric. It might be nice to go underneath the Milton. That was from Spotlight as well. So it's just really hard, isn't it? It's just, there's so much temptation, so many patterns calling me, and I get a lot of ideas. So it's just a matter of thinking what I will wear, what's more practical for my lifestyle at the moment, maybe what holes there are in the wardrobe, things that I might have too many of. I might want to make something totally different. So that is another question I need to ask. Now the next pattern is one that a friend of mine who is also a vlogger, and she's also done her So Frugal Challenge episode, and that is Lexi from Brunchy Girls. Lexi I have known forever. She's actually one of my best friend's cousins. So she doesn't live, she probably lives about half an hour from me, so not too far away. So she's also got a sewing channel, Brunchy Girls, which also investigates kids' patterns, and she's loving this free pattern episode at the moment. I've got a visitor, she's back again. The garden dweller, Juju. Okay. Lexi does kids patterns. She's got a beautiful little girl called Lila. Also does a lot of DIY and crafting and traveling. So she's got a channel there called Brunchy Girls. So head on over and follow her channel. She actually sent me this pattern and said this looks like something you would love, and it's a free pattern. And I just thought, well, I would never have seen it. It's from the Uncut Project, and it's called the Black Diamond Top. And I love the fact that it's got that beautiful grown on kimono shaped sleeve, and the shaping around the waist is really unusual and different. You can make it in either the longer sleeve or the short, like sort of cut off sleeve. Size range is extra small to 3XL in that black diamond top. So I'm thinking of making it in a cotton lawn. This is a beautiful Lady McElroy cotton lawn that was sent to me by Weft and Warp Fabrics back last year. I think it was November, and I haven't used it yet, and I just think that would be a stunning statementy top. The way that has that little peplum shape to it, I think the cotton lawn would lend itself really nicely to it. It reminds me of Monet's garden. Not that I've ever been there. I haven't set foot out of Australia, but one day I would like to get over to see that. It's just something, whenever you get those scene prints, it conjures up the paintings that you've seen before. It's a really beautiful piece of art, this fabric. I just think it's stunning. The colorways are not normally what I would choose, but I think it's very soft and beautiful, and it will definitely make a great pairing to that black diamond top. The wind is about to start here. Hopefully we've got some rain coming, but hopefully not as much as for Queensland and New South Wales have had this terrible amount of flooding. Definitely go ahead and check out all the other vloggers on the So Frugal hashtag. There are plenty of prizes. So many very generous pattern companies have donated to this hashtag, and I know it's going to be a yearly thing that Ruan and Sam are going to be running, because it does really give a lot of people a lot of access to patterns and maybe a bit of inspiration to get into your stash and get some sewing done. And can I also say a huge thank you. A lot of people have donated to my Ko-fi account lately, and I can't thank you enough just how much that support means to me, and it does allow me to bring you guys more extra content more often. So I just couldn't go without saying a huge thank you to those people who have contributed. So it's just wonderful to see how many supportive viewers I've got that are really enjoying the content, so I can keep bringing you more. Hopefully that way I can get you all inspired and get some sewing done. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and check out Katie from Wandering Bobbin and see what she's got in store, because I'm about to go and watch her and see what she's thinking about making. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the So Frugal Challenge for 2022. We'll see you on the 31st of March, and you will see exactly what I've decided to sew up out of this bunch of fabric and patterns. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Stay safe and happy sewing. See you soon. Bye for now.